All right, welcome out today. I think this is day 6. I missed day 5, I was gone, but we're here on day 6, still going. I think today we are officially halfway done. So we should finish this week. Just emptying Christopher into me. I've already loaded one truck today. They were a little late getting the trucks out, and we were just at a standstill waiting for trucks, but we're going now. There's another truck at the end of the field. I think when I get this load full, which he should be able to fill me all the way up, I should be able to just go completely fill that truck back there. So looks like it's already starting to heap up. I don't know if he's watching. Okay, he's watching, because he can move the boom. And some people have commented that I call it a boom instead of an auger. Yes, it is an auger, but I don't know, I call it a boom. Mainly because in spud harvest, we have the big boom that sticks out of the side of the harvester to load the trucks. And so everything that loads a truck or loads something, I just call it a boom. So there you go. That's why I call it a boom. But yes, it is just a big auger, and it works great. So I'm gonna leave him. He just finished unloading, and I'm gonna go over here and load this semi. All right, got my boom out, or my auger. Just need to turn this on. Man, that is not focusing, is it? No, turn that on too. You'll see this number right there. That's the gate inside opening up. So that's what that means. That's what I clicked on the hydraulics. That's what opened that up, so that it lets the grain into the auger. So I think I have enough to load this entire truck, but we'll see. Well, I almost had enough. Still have, I can fill him with one more dump from the combine. I'll be able to fill him up, but he's almost full. Christopher's coming up to these power poles. It's gonna be pretty close whether he can fit next to him. I think he can squeeze past. Woo, that was close. So you may notice in this field that we have all this stuff. So that's not wheat. So the wheat is over there. You can see where it's short and even. This big, tall, nasty stuff is not wheat. It's growing in the wheat. It's wild oats. So everywhere around, all the farmers around, everybody's having problems with these wild oats. So the reason the wild oats are bad, and so what he's going through, normally there would be kernels in that stuff, but it's wild oat kernels, not wheat kernels. But all the kernels have fallen out, so they're empty. So it's not getting wild oats into the wheat. The problem is where we have these really bad wild oats, the yield of the wheat drops, because when you have two plants competing for the same piece of ground, for the same nutrients, it drops the yield. So yeah, there's lots of wild oats in there. There is wheat in there, but not very much wheat. The yield is definitely dropping right here, and they get even worse up here. Like this field is especially bad with the wild oats. But yeah, it drops the yield of the wheat, and the problem with these wild oats is normally you just spray for them, but the wild oats have become resistant to all the sprays. So the only thing that can actually kill the wild oats is Roundup, but the Roundup would also kill the wheat, so we can't spray it. This is even a different variety of wheat than our other fields, because we thought that with this variety there's a spray you can use on it that won't kill the wheat. We thought it might kill the wild oats, but clearly we were wrong. So it's a problem that everybody's having, and nobody really has a solution other than if you put it in Roundup Ready hay for a few years, you can spray the wild oats and kill it. But the problem with that is hay really isn't worth anything, so nobody wants to do that. We did that on one field. The field behind Christopher's house that we were using that fluffer on is Roundup Ready hay, and we were able to spray it because that had really bad wild oats. But we were able to spray that and get the wild oats to go away. But we don't like putting more and more fields into hay because hay is almost worthless. You don't make, most years you don't make hardly any money on hay, so it's not really worth growing. So we can get rid of some of the wild oats when it's in spuds because we can spray them with a different spray that'll kill them. But this is one problem. We only have it in a couple of fields, but this field is one in particular that is really, really thick and really bad, especially right there. It's like all wild oats right there. But and the wild oats, another problem with the wild oats, they're so much taller than the wheat that if you get really thick wild oats and then the wind comes up, the wild oats will actually lay the wheat down, and that makes it hard to pick up the wheat. So I'll show you up here where there's a patch of wheat in the wild oats that's all laid down. So you can see right here, this is all kind of laid down. He's able to usually cut it. He has to go slower, but you can see that when the wild oats get tall and thick, the wind just pushes it all down. So it makes it really hard to pick up the wheat when it's all laid down. So that is one problem with wild oats. Luckily this year, this is about the only patch that had a little bit of laid down grain or wheat. I keep calling it both, but yeah, so he has to, you see, he has to slow down in order to, he slows down and drops the header to actually cut and pick up that laid down wheat. But luckily there shouldn't be any wild oats left in the heads of these, so we shouldn't get docked for it in the grain. But yeah, it's just not a good situation, and we don't really have a good solution to get rid of it. All right, well, we are just finishing the last little strip of this field. And that's it. This field's done. Josh is over here with the header cart. So we're gonna go unhook the header and head over to the next field. I probably won't do a whole lot of filming outside today because it's like 20-mile-an-hour winds and the audio would sound like crap, and I don't want to subject you guys to that. So we're just gonna pull over here and unhook it and take off. See you in the next field. Well, we made it. This field, this is our home field. So it's right where all our cellars and stuff are at. This is the biggest field we have. I think it's 250 acres. It might be 240, but it's one of the biggest fields we've got, so it should take us a couple of days. This field has mile-long rows once you get behind the cellars. So it'll be interesting to see how often I have to empty the combine on these long, long rows. But because it is so windy outside, maybe we'll just watch him hook the cart up from inside the tractor so I can actually show you. Right now Josh is just unhooking the straps on the cart. Or not on the cart, on the header. I wonder what they're saying. Like, man, this looks dusty. Why is it so windy out here? All this wind is just blowing all this chaff all over me. I'm getting so itchy. Try and stay out of the chaff. Alright, I'm going to check this chain, make sure it's still good. Nothing's broken. Nothing looks hot. Man, I wonder what that is. Is that a greaser I missed? Nah, no, I got that one. Oh, maybe I didn't. Let me look closer. Oh, I got to touch it. Make sure that the grease is fresh. Yeah, I got that one. Just make sure to watch the ladder so it doesn't swing out and hit the header. All right, I'll watch it. Got to sweep all my cab grain off. I'm sure they'll appreciate all my commentary of what they might be saying. straight, keep it straight. Don't break anything. Oh, too far. Back up. Not straight enough. And got it. That combine can lift the header so high. So all the way up like that, it's about 6 feet. Like I can walk underneath it. But then he can also twist it. So it's like 10 feet off the ground on one side. So it's kind of crazy how high. I mean, the points of it are taller than the cab right there. Oh, Christopher just about got stuck. So right here, there's a ditch and it leaks. So it's kind of green and wet right here. So we tried to stay far enough away from it, but he got going and almost got stuck. I'm gonna make sure I turn away because I'm in a track tractor, but believe it or not, track tractors suck in the mud. They do not do well in mud. But he left a nice little rut. We'll have to fill in with the disc when we get to discing this field. I wouldn't have thought it'd be wet right there because that grain doesn't look too bad, but yeah, that's wet. Good thing he didn't get stuck because that would suck to pull him out. Well, he's full. We just got done opening up the end of this, the edge of this field. And, oh man, I like that windshield wiper. We just opened up both ends, went around the side. So now we can actually get rolling on the just going back and forth across the field. But we'll get going here pretty quick. Just have to unload this, which my bin, you can actually see in it through that little porthole. That's the grain in there. My bin is just about full. So hopefully there's a semi here shortly. Stand over here out of the wind next to my tractor. So he's got the leaf blower up there. He's blowing off some stuff, some filters and stuff. It's getting a little bit hot, I guess. So he's blowing some filters or something off that's up there so that it hopefully will cool back down. So that's kind of what we're working with right now. It is pretty windy out here, so I can't do a whole lot of filming because I don't have my mic. Okay, well, I've got the combine on one side, and we're going along, and then here's the baler. Our baler broke down last week, and they were finally able to get some parts. So the baler's out here now. I see a couple of broken bales, so I don't know that it's fixed. Maybe they're just testing it to see what more parts they need. Because the bales that are right here are busted, so we'll I wonder what's going on. But we'll watch the baler as it drives by. So all of this straw that we leave in these windrows will get baled up into bales and then sold. So there's been a lot of comments of what are we doing with all the straw in the field. Well, we bale it. But here's the baler. Ever wondered what we do with the straw? Now you know. These are big square 4x4 bales. I'm not sure what parts were broken. Something with the tying of the knots and the twine, but looks like they're still kind of working on it. All right, I'm just following the combine. We finally got past the cellars. So he's doing a full pass all the way from one end to the other. These are basically just about a mile long rows. So his lights just came on and I can see a little heap of grain on top of there, but he's able to cut the whole mile without being full. With our old combine, we had to dump them twice in the mile. So having that big bin definitely helps. All right, I just wanted to show you guys that the smoke has been blown away. So it's been pretty windy here the last few days, and all the smoke is pretty much gone. So you can see the mountains again. So we have a lovely view of all these stupid windmills up on the mountain. Everybody's pretty mad that they put them up there because it just ruined the view. But luckily we have this view over here too. So we do have some non-windmill mountains to look at. But yeah, we can now see the mountains again, which is great. The air quality has gotten better. There was some days where you could not see the mountains at all. It was kind of crazy. But we're still going. Now you can see the mountains. So now you got a view. It's getting into about evening. The sun's starting to go down. We're still rock and rolling though. Oh, I gotta speed up just a little bit. Had a pretty good day, and it is hard to keep this thing straight when I'm filming. We've done a lot. We've got onto this field has those really long rows, and man, with really long rows, we're able to fill trucks really fast. It's like one round on these long rows, and we've filled 1.5 trucks. So they may have to, the trucking company may have to throw in a truck or two here and there to keep up, just on this field, because the rows are so long and we're filling so fast. But it also looks like the yield is pretty good. I haven't talked to Christopher to see what the yield actually is, but I feel like the yield is pretty good. He's filling up pretty quick. So we do still have some wild oats in this field. We don't have as many, but there are still some wild oats around, little patches of it. So where we get into those wild oats, the yield drops, but for the most part, it's doing pretty good. It's been a good harvest so far. We've only had a handful of breakdowns, and we are over halfway done now. So looks like he just finished. So I'm gonna pull away, but the Fendt is doing amazing. I don't know why people don't like it so much, but it's pretty awesome. So now the real question is, I'm not all the way full, but I don't think I could take one more dump. So he's over here combining. Look at that sunset. But the trucks are like a mile away, clear at the other end of this field. So we're gonna see if I can make it all the way down there, unload, and make it back before he's full. I don't know if it's possible, but we're gonna try it out. Man, look at that view. Look at those mountains. Haven't seen those in a while. It's been smoky here for like a month. So seeing the mountains again is kind of nice. All right, I'm unloading. I'm trying to hurry. We'll see if we make it back in time. I don't think I have enough to fill this truck, but it'll be close. All right, we are on our way back, and wouldn't you look at that sunset? I love sunsets during harvest. They're just so nice. I'm just cruising along. Ooh, I need to rev it up all the way. 12 miles an hour, that's what I want. Had it idled down a little bit. Man, look at that view. It actually looks better in the camera than it does in real life. It's like the camera can see all the color spectrum that my eyes can't. Looks pretty awesome. It's kind of like when we had the Northern Lights. Does anybody remember the Northern Lights like a month ago? I couldn't see them with my naked eye, but my camera caught them real good. I feel like that's what it's doing right here, because that is pretty. But I'm kind of a sucker for a view, so if it's a good view, I definitely like it. I like to go to travel places. I've traveled places that, man, I can't talk. I like to travel places where there's a good view, like in the mountains or on a beach somewhere. I don't really like going into cities because, I don't know, I'm not a city boy. I grew up out in the country. I like to avoid cities if possible. So yeah, anywhere with a good view, I like to go there. All right, let's see where he's at. Oh, I spotted him. He's over there. his lights are not blinking yet. Oh man, pillar's in the way. His lights aren't blinking yet. So we made it all the way there, unloaded, and all the way back, and we're good. Looks like he's cutting next to the hand lines so they can come move him out of the way. Man, I just can't get over how good that sunset looks. I mean, it's like extra orange because of the smoke that's in the air. That's just pretty. Except I can't go over there. See all this right here? We had the wash plant set up right here, and all the potato waste ran down the hill. So this is all potato waste stuff. So we're just gonna disc it in, but right now I don't know that he wants to drive through that. So he hasn't opened up that little end piece. So I can't drive over there until he gets it opened up. So we'll just wait right here. See what he decides to do with that. He'll probably just go around it. There's plenty of room. But would you look at that view? Yeah, these are all just vines and potatoes and stuff. He's just going around the end of it. Sorry, it is a little bit windy. I'm trying to block the wind. Yeah, this is all the nasty potato waste that just rolled down the hill as we washed all those potatoes. Yeah, we had a whole cellar go rotten on us of potatoes. 70,000 sacks, and we borrowed a wash plant, and we were able to go wash the potatoes, and we saved probably 50,000, maybe 55,000 sacks of it. Lost maybe 10,000 sacks. So yeah, if you haven't seen that, go check that out. That's where all those potato waste wash stuff out in the field, that's where that came from. I just can't get over the view. The view is so good. With the combine and the sunset, that's amazing. But I gotta go get back in the tractor and unload it. Well, I couldn't help it. I had to get some more shots with the sunset. It's got lights on now. This looks awesome. On my way to unload, but I don't know if you can see the mountain. Oh, it's blinking red. Yeah, that's the main reason people don't like those windmills, because they just flash red. So apparently they don't have to have red lights on them, so they're trying to get a bill passed to remove all the red lights. We'll see if that happens, but I gotta get to the other end of the field. All right, I'm unloading my last load of the day. Once I get this unloaded, I'm just gonna go park it by the cellars. Christopher can fill it back up, and we'll dump it in the morning. All right, guys, well, thanks for joining me today. I'm gonna call it the end of the day, seeing as how it's dark and we don't have any more trucks that we can fill. So make sure you go down below, fill out the form for the giveaway. If you wanna create a logo to win as well, maybe even more, maybe you win both. Yeah, make a logo, send it to my email. It'll also be down in the description. And I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.